Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another exciting episode of Trigger Warning Radio. I am your host, the Kaiju Conservative. Now, I was trying to figure out one thing to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen, and it was impossible to pick on just one thing. So what I did is I went ahead and grabbed kind of a roundup of some interesting stories that I found poking around the internet today. And the first of those stories, of course, is this whole Stormy Daniels thing that the Democrats have going on. So if you're not familiar, and I really don't see how you couldn't be familiar, but of course, Stormy Daniels alleges that she had a consensual affair with Donald Trump back in 2006, well before he decided to run for president or was involved in politics in any meaningful way, but while he was married to Melania Trump. And she supposedly signed a non-disclosure agreement. Well, she did sign a non-disclosure agreement, which she is now breaking, of course. And it's just, this whole thing is just so freaking stupid, folks. It really is. Now, Stormy went on 60 Minutes last night and gave this tell-all interview about Donald Trump and her relationship with Trump and so on and so forth. And really, it's, I didn't watch it. I'll admit I didn't watch it. And you know why I didn't watch it? It's because I don't care. I don't care about this enough to watch a tell-all interview that doesn't tell anything. I mean, think about it. Do you care about Stormy Daniels? Does anybody care about Stormy Daniels? Other than CNN and the left, does anybody give a crap about it? I maintain no. I maintain that people, care about as much about Stormy Daniels as they did about all the other allegations of sexual harassment that Donald Trump faced during the campaign. Those didn't affect him at all, and Stormy Daniels is not going to affect him at all, and yet the left is still pushing it because it's something to attack Trump with. Now, I know why they're pushing it too. It's another step on the path to impeach Trump. They're going to go at this one of two ways, ladies and gentlemen. First way that the left is going to approach Stormy Daniels is that Donald Trump lied about having an affair, and because he lied, he needs to be impeached. Why? Because Bill Clinton lied about having an affair, and Bill Clinton was impeached. So if we're going to have one standard for one president, we need to have the same standard for another president. We can't have two different standards of quote-unquote justice. Of course, this ignores the fact that Bill Clinton was not impeached for having an affair or for lying about the affair. Well, he was impeached for lying during grand jury testimony. And he had this affair while he was president with a 21-year-old intern in the White House. I mean, that right there is worlds of difference from somebody having an affair consensually to adults having affairs consensually while one was married. They're not even the same case, ladies and gentlemen, but that's one angle that the left is going to approach this with. The other angle that the left is going to approach the Stormy Daniels thing with is this allegation that she was threatened and intimidated by Trump's lawyer. Allegedly, according to Stormy Daniels, somebody at an event walked up to her and said, "Leave Trump alone, forget the story," and of her daughter at the time said, "That's a beautiful little girl. It would be a shame if something happened to her mom." So she's alleging that she was threatened by Trump's lawyer. And the way this is going to be used by the left is they're going to say that Trump is the one who ordered his lawyer to threaten Stormy Daniels, which is a crime, and that's why he has to be impeached. Never mind that this alleged intimidation happened in 2011, about 7 years ago. Not what, Trump was involved in politics more back then, but he definitely wasn't thinking about running for president at that point in time. But even still, even though he supposedly did not commit this crime, alleged crime, as president, the left is going to demand that that he needs to be impeached for that. And and it's sad that this is how desperate the left has gotten. Russia was the thing that they counted on. Russian collusion was the thing that they counted on ever since Trump started gaining in the polls. They've been hammering this Russian collusion. That was supposed to be the thing that was supposed to get Trump, and it didn't pan out. It's been completely discredited. So now they're going for Stormy Daniels, and this too is going to be completely discredited. It's not going to go anywhere. Leftists. I'm speaking to any leftists listening out there right now. Trump is your president for 4 years, at least. Get over it. Accept that fact. Move on. Maybe work on winning in 2018 and 2020, because you have no chance of winning at this point because you're focusing on these ridiculous ways to get Trump out of office. It's not going to happen. Concentrate on what's important. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, is Governor Andrew Cuomo, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. So apparently, according to the New York Post, Governor Cuomo was speaking at an event at Mount Nebo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Mount Nebo Baptist Church, which is a predominantly black congregation. And according to the New York Post, Andrew Cuomo said, "I want you to know, as a matter of full disclosure, I am a Catholic. Catholics basically believe the same teachings that Baptists believe. We just do it without the rhythm. But we try. We are not as without rhythm as some of our Jewish brothers and sisters." Jesus tap dancing Christ. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. One of Cuomo's former campaign advisors, a guy named Hank Scheinkoff, who is Jewish, he was sitting in the front row watching Governor Cuomo speak, and Governor Cuomo singled him out and said, "I was watching Mr. Scheinkoff there in the front row moving to the music. It was ugly. I'll tell you the truth." Oh my God. Oh my God. It's just, folks, we know that leftists are racists, and most of the time it's a soft racism, the racism of low expectations. But every now and again, you get a leftist that lets the mask slip and really just lets fly with what would be called a racist tirade, if it was somebody on the right doing it. And let's play it's a common game that we play on the right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's play the game. What would happen if this was a Republican? So let's pretend Andrew Cuomo was a Republican governor, and he said this at a Baptist church, a predominantly black Baptist church. What do you think the reaction would be in this case, folks? I can tell you what the reaction would be. There would be howls and calls to resign. There would be protests in his office, sit-ins. The news shows would be talking about it 24/7. CNN might maybe cover this for 5 minutes and then get back to Stormy Daniels, but they would devote at least some time to it. It would be a 3-ring circus. It would be insane. It would kill the career of any Republican if they had said this. But because Andrew Cuomo is a leftist, because he's a Democrat, he gets to get up and he gets to say racist things like this, blatantly racist things, and blatantly anti-Semitic things like this, and he gets absolutely no consequences. Yeah, there were a couple of people that were a little pissed off about it. Democrat State Senator Simcha Felder, she said she didn't think it was a good joke. She can do better. Well, yeah. Arthur Schwartz, a Republican who's also Jewish and a pro-Israel activist, he said the governor should focus more on governing and less on Jew jokes. Very, very mild reactions compared to what would happen if this was a Republican. You know, ladies and gentlemen, the left talks about white privilege a lot, but I think we need to talk more about leftist privilege, because leftist privilege is being able to get up in front of a crowd and say blatantly racist, blatantly anti-Semitic things and have absolutely no consequences for it. That's what we need to talk about more, ladies and gentlemen. We need to talk more about leftist privilege. Of course, we won't, because, you know, the media, they don't want to talk about things like that. They don't want to, they don't want anything to do with any of that. All they want to talk about is how evil and bigoted and racist and hateful Trump is. They want to talk about Stormy Daniels, and they want to talk about Russia and shove more Parkland kids down our throats. That's all the left wants to do. And finally, folks, the last thing that I want to talk about, former Vice President Joe Biden. Joe Biden's been in the news recently. He boasted that he could beat the hell out of Donald Trump. Not for the first time either. He also made that boast during the 2016 campaign, because he's such a tolerant and peaceful person that he'll talk about beating the hell out of a sitting presidential candidate and a political opponent. You know, it's just stand-up guy. But apparently there's been a lot of noise that Joe Biden was considering running for president in 2020. But it seems today he is rethinking that position. So he was speaking to an audience at Southern Connecticut State University Friday evening, and he was asked point blank whether or not he would challenge Trump in 2020. Apparently, Biden said, "Honest to God, I don't know. I have to be able to stand in front of a mirror and look in the mirror and know that if I don't run, it's not because I'm afraid of losing. It's not because I don't want to take on the responsibility. It's because there is somebody better to do it, and or because emotionally I'm not positioned to be all in. And so the jury's still out." I still think Biden's going to run, ladies and gentlemen. He obviously wants to. You know, he didn't back in 2016 because he was still fresh from the very sudden death of his son. But you know, he wants to do it. With this though, I think he may just be bowing out, mainly because I'm just theorizing here, but I think he doesn't want his statements of violence against a political opponent to be scrutinized. You know, I don't think he wants that to be part of the national conversation when he runs for president. And you know for a fact that if he runs for president, Trump's going to be bringing that up. I mean, Trump's not this panty waist GOP establishment guy who doesn't want to talk about the bad things about his opponent, only wants to talk about good things. No, Trump is a down and dirty brawler. We saw that during the 2016 campaign. There's no reason to think 2020 would be any different, and you know for a fact that would come up. You also know for a fact that Joe Biden's history of publicly groping women and children would come up as well. And I think there's something there that Biden may not want to get out, and I think there's something there that Biden may not feel that he can keep a lid on in order to facilitate a 2020 presidential bid. Personally, I think Biden needs to run. I think he has to run because I want all of that stuff to come up to the fore. I want the entire country to see what a pervert he is and how violent and hate-filled he really, really is. That would be almost as delicious as Hillary Clinton losing to a reality TV show star. Not as delicious, but almost as delicious. So, Joe, if you're listening, run, Joe, run. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. As always, if you liked what you heard, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Both of those things help me out quite a bit. I put the links to the stories that I've talked about in the description, so if you want to take a look at those, feel free to do so. Once again, thanks so much for listening, and I will see you all next time.